Okay, so I'm recording this in lower res so that it doesn't take 2 hours to upload. There were some questions asked, and I thought it might be a lot easier to do this with video as opposed to trying to explain this in 1,000 words. One question was the concern over the circuit being exposed on the outside. I mean, with these circuits, I normally will just lacquer them over, and that gives you 99% of the protection from what you want. And in reality, it's pretty accessible because if it's on your back, let me try and explain, you reach back with your hand on that side, and just you can hit the on-off switch or play with the volume. In terms of this wire going to the motor, I've got some little plastic clips, I'll hold that in place. The one going to the battery, you want that one free floating. But I've not had trouble with the wires simply because they're kind of on the other end of where I'm doing the business. First it's behind me, and then the hose side is on the opposite of this. So that has not been an issue. But when I started making this thing, I had the same thoughts. Let me show you my old design. So if you notice, the bucket, I cut another bucket in half, and that protected the motor. Of course, the motor's vacuum is mounted a little bit differently. And my old circuit, now this one you can see is taking well, you probably can't, but it's taken some abuse more than anything else from me. And I mounted this on the outside. Now something that could be done is take this circuit, mount it inside of here, and then for the volume control or the speed control, put that on a cable and mount that on the side here somewhere. No matter where you put it, it's not going to be perfect. The on-off switch I'd leave inside. For the most part, you can do everything with the speed control volume. So let me know what you think of the second bucket. I didn't do this just because I hated, having to throw away a bucket just to get a little bit of a shield over things. But maybe it's worth it, or I don't know. Other thoughts on this? One other thing I wanted to ask about. Now, I've used this, it's an 1.5-inch corrugated hose. Haven't had really any issues with the bees getting injured, mainly because it's a nice short hose. I think the longer you go, the more they get beat up, bounce back, bounce, bounce, bounce. Doesn't matter what they're in. I was at the hardware store and I saw this, and I've seen it before, but it's called 1-inch PVC Schedule 40 flex pipe. Has anyone used this? It's a little bit smaller, so the bees are going to be hitting more, but it's smooth on the inside. Just curious on opinions. Let me know.